Going on a vacation should be exciting, a time to see new places, meet new people, and forget the stresses of our everyday lives. Some vacations, however, quickly turn from sun-kissed sands and smiling faces to a nightmarish mystery, strange disappearances which puzzle investigators to this day. Here are 10 people who vanished on vacation. Number 10 is John Halford. Father of 3, John Halford went on an unexpected holiday by himself in 2011. The holiday was a cruise just off the African coast. While the cruise ship was near Egypt, John was last seen on board sipping cocktails and enjoying himself. But after that, he vanished from the ship entirely. No one knows what happened to him. While his wife suggested that they had money and marriage problems, many who knew him found his disappearance and the events surrounding it to be very strange. All of John Halford's belongings were found in his cabin, and some suggest that he fell from the cruise ship by accident. However, with no security footage or other evidence to back this up, his disappearance will always be cast in doubt. Number 9 is Hugh Pham and Hugh Tran. If John Halford's disappearance was perhaps an accident, the vanishing of Hugh Pham and Hugh Tran may have been a more sinister explanation. The couple were traveling on a cruise ship in the Caribbean in 2005. Having been married for 49 years, they were enjoying the cruise with their granddaughter and daughter. On May 12th, the couple vanished completely. The family of the couple believes something happened to them on the cruise ship, citing discrepancies such as the cruise ship waiting 4 hours to report the disappearance, when the ship would have been far from where they disappeared. Some have even gone as far as to suggest that there was some sort of cover-up by someone on the ship. It appears unlikely that the truth will ever be revealed. Number 8 is Karen Denise Wells. On April 12th, 1994, Karen Denise Wells vanished without a trace. Karen was 23 years old and living in Oklahoma at the time, and was going on a road trip to visit her friend Melissa in New Jersey. After renting a car, we know she at least reached Carlisle, Pennsylvania. There, she phoned Melissa asking her to come to the motel where she was staying. Melissa agreed and arrived at the motel that night, looking forward to seeing her friend. Karen was gone by this time, though some of her possessions had been left behind in her room. 56 kilometers away, Karen's rental car was discovered abandoned in a deserted location. Most mystifying of all was that the odometer on the rental car had 700 extra miles on it, which could not be accounted for. Number 7 is Frank Lenz. Frank Lenz went on a bizarre vacation, and it ended in an equally bizarre mystery. The year was 1892, and Frank had decided to cycle around the world. Traveling from Pittsburgh, he cycled around the United States and then sailed to Asia. This led him to Iran, where he was still alive and well. However, his next destination, which was in Turkey, was 450 kilometers away. Somewhere along that leg of the journey, Frank Lenz disappeared. While no one knows exactly what happened, a friend searching for Lenz believed that Lenz had reached a small Turkish village where there had been some sort of disagreement. Because of that, it's believed that Lenz may have been disposed of there. Other theories include bandits, Lenz settling down somewhere in the region, and even encountering warring armies who were active in the area at the time. Whatever happened remains unclear. Number 6 is Melvin Nottle. Some people enjoy vacationing on a coastal resort or on a cruise ship, but for others, they like nothing better than to head off into the woods. Unfortunately for Melvin Nottle, he did just that. Melvin disappeared near Elk Mountain in the Santa Fe National Forest. He was an unexperienced hiker and hunter, a black belt in Taekwondo, and was armed at the time with a bow and a gun. After establishing a camp in difficult terrain, his 2 friends headed off to scout the area. When they came back to the camp, Melvin was gone. Worried that he might have gotten lost, they went to their Jeep, which was parked nearby, and sounded the horn for him to follow. 2 gunshots were heard in the distance in response, and nothing more. When search dogs were brought in, they found Melvin's footprints, which stopped suddenly down a trail nearby. Number 5 is Natalie Holloway. Leaving high school is supposed to be a time to celebrate, but for Natalie Holloway, it ended in her disappearance. After graduation, she went on a celebratory trip to Aruba in 2005 with some friends. This vacation was to allow her to let off some steam and to get some downtime after all of her hard work. Natalie did what any teenager would do and hung out on the beaches of Aruba and partied. After leaving a bar with 3 young men, Natalie was never seen or heard from again. While the 3 men were identified and questioned, they were never charged. To this day, no one is certain what happened to her. Did she have an accident? A local police chief has suggested that she may have ran foul of a criminal named Joran van der Sloot, but the mystery remains. Number 4 is Sister Eileen Christie. For many, religious figures who promote peace and loving should be protected and nurtured. But in the case of Sister Eileen Christie, her safety remains seriously in doubt. In 2016, the 72-year-old Roman Catholic nun traveled from New York on a vacation to Austria in Europe. The much-loved nun and theology teacher was last heard from while checking into a hostel in the Austrian village of Hallstatt. When the police were alerted to her disappearance, they searched the hostel and found all of her belongings present, except for her swimsuit. Some believe that she had an accident while swimming, while others have suggested something more sinister happened to Sister Eileen while in the remote location. At the time of this video, investigators are still trying to discover what happened to her. Number 3 is Norman Lee. Norman Lee is a much-loved comic book artist. While on a family vacation in 2015 to Grand Cayman Island, he mysteriously vanished. He was snorkeling in the sea with his wife as part of a group excursion. Something happened and Lee became separated from the group. After a 2-day search for him, rescue efforts were halted due to rough waters. At first, it appeared that this was a tragic snorkeling accident, but for some reason the FBI have kept his case open and are offering $10,000 in return for any information about Lee's whereabouts. No adequate explanation for this has ever been given. Norman Lee's own sister has been quoted as saying that she believes the initial investigation may have been mismanaged and there's more to find out. Number 2 is Leo Whittaker. While on a vacation with the Christian humanitarian group Maranatha Volunteers International in Costa Rica, he was there to help paint churches and schools in the area. After a tour bus took Leo, his wife, and other volunteers near the Tabacan Resort, Leo was last seen sitting on a bench taking in the scenery. His wife and others were dipping in a nearby hot spring, and when they emerged, he was gone. The bench was just 6 meters from the spring at most. An extensive search was carried out to discover Leo Whittaker's whereabouts. This revealed witnesses who were sure that they had seen Leo walking down a nearby public road. However, friends had traveled down that road just minutes after he was supposed to be there and found absolutely nothing. And number 1 is Virginia Carpenter. During the mid-40s in Texarkana, a mysterious criminal known as the Phantom Killer carried out a horrific crime spree. At first, the victims seemed unrelated, but it became clear that Virginia Carpenter knew 3 of them at least. She was a resident in the town at the time. In 1948, Virginia was traveling to Denton, 6 hours away, to stay for the summer. After forgetting to pick up her trunk at the train station, she asked the taxi driver to go back and bring it to her the next day. The driver did just that, but when he arrived at the dormitory where Virginia was staying, she was nowhere to be found. Witnesses saw Virginia speaking with 2 men in a convertible before her disappearance. She was never seen again, and some believe this may be because she knew who the Phantom Killer was.